No, the world's finished. Guys, I'm just thinking about so much stuff in my head right now. One thing I would say, guys, is everyone just needs to focus.
Wait, when you said to stay up for long.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So guys, for this episode or video, whatever you want to call it, we're just gonna like have a little discussion and just talk about a few things, because me and Fats were basically having like what I believed it was like an interesting conversation the other day as we were coming home on the tube, and then I was like, why don't we just talk about this on our podcast? It started off because we read an article about how the Muslim dating app Mismatch was being sued by like Tinder, like not by Tinder, it's whoever owns the Match Group. It's a Match Group,
yeah, and
they own like Hinge, Tinder,
everything,
all of them ones basically. Obviously, like the owner or the creator of Mismatch, or like any dating app, but specifically Muslim dating apps, like by default you're gonna have people on this app who don't have sincere intentions, who are on there to do like certain things, and like who are just not taking this app seriously, which is just like like obviously that's gonna happen, you know. It's like you can't what's the word, you can't
filter that. Yeah,
you can't filter that. But what I wanted to like know is like, how are these people gonna get judged by God for creating this huge platform to give opportunity for people to obviously not only have beautiful halal marriages, but to also do madnesses on this app. So like I was just thinking, I was like, it's just crazy, isn't it? Because like I'm sure the guy's intentions are super pure, and like he's trying his best to like make things run like in accordance to Islam, but naturally I'm sure he also knows in the back of his head that people are on this app to do madnesses and to like use it to just
and you can tell, like I think when we were just discussing it, like if someone comes on the Match because they want to get married in 3 to 4 years, like I don't think that's
a red flag though.
Yeah, it is. You want to get married so what are you going to be doing in them 3 to 4 years?
Getting to know the person for 3 to 4 years. Can we tell them what you've done?
We can, but like,
so what Fats has done is, because for some, I don't know, do you just want to have no involvement in this? She doesn't trust herself, I don't know what it is. So she's essentially given her account to me, and I'm the one who like doing all the liking, the unliking. I'm filtering through everything. Like she's giving me like a set of requirements that she wants me to obviously look for, and then I'm meant to be talking to the, not as her, she's written like on her account that like it's run by a friend. It's just so jokes, it's so weird. No, but like, but I rate it because I guess it's it's just weird, but yeah.
No, can I just say a few things? That ages ago my friend told me she did this.
Yeah, I never knew this was like a thing. Like,
yeah, and also it just didn't, like Islamically it didn't make sense to me. You can have what's that thing called? A chaperone. Yeah, I got that too. Not like I even talk to anyone over there, but it's there. So one thing I noticed, like, you know, you go in with a set of requirements, right? So like, let's say, you know, you want someone that prays 5 times a day, 100%, I don't know, you want them to like be a family guy, whatever. And then when you read someone's profile, like their picture, they might just be, you know, like 10% better looking than like most other people. No, what I'm trying to say is, like, when I was on the app,
go out the window, so
yeah, they don't completely go out the window, but like emotions get in the way, or like there's no emotions to even begin with, because I don't even know the person.
As in, you're just saying you can get blindsided by their looks and then forget about your requirements, and that's
yeah, but not just looks, like other things. Like if they tell me they love traveling and they love reading and they're into like writing poetry, but none of that fundamentally matters.
Yeah.
Unless you're
not. It kind of does.
Okay.
For compatibility's sake. No.
Yeah, but Dean. Yeah, but like, you know, yeah, no, yeah. So
I understand. I kind of get why she's given her account to me. Yeah. But it's just so funny because now I'm talking to all these people on behalf of Fats, and it's just really weird.
Are you actually talking to people?
No, I haven't actually replied. I have a lot of people to reply to.
Don't lie.
Because I can barely reply to my own messages, as in like on WhatsApp and flipping iMessage, let alone your dating app messages.
In my head, I just want to make it as halal as possible, but also, what was I gonna say? Yeah, also back to your point. You know how you were like on the Day of Judgment. Like, how's it going to be judged by God?
Obviously, it's like I don't actually care, but I'm just intrigued to know how like how these things are, like, because it's so risky, isn't it? Like your whole life.
No, but
and, like,
they clearly say, like, you know how you have conditions.
Yeah, I'm sure. Obviously, actions are judged by intentions, but you're literally providing this platform for people to do haram on, even though that's not what the purpose is, but surely they know that's also what's going to happen. So I just want to know, like, wow, like how does what's the accountability? Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, just a thought that came to my head, and I was just really like,
no, babe, that's true.
I wondered, like,
and as a company, if they know that harm happens, like they should filter, like monitor it.
No, they do try to monitor it, but there's only so much monitoring you can do.
Like,
if you get someone's WhatsApp number from this app, or like if you meet someone,
no, but babe, little things like looking for marriage and fact, it's a Muslim app. Why is it okay? Babe, like you agree with that?
No, it's not a red flag.
Babe, that's a red flag.
I don't know. Is that a red flag? I don't think it's a red flag.
No, it's not a red flag in normal modern day. I'm talking about, babe, as Muslim. Why? Like, do you know? Obviously, like,
yeah, as in, like, what are you going to be doing for 5 years? Like,
yeah, like what? Like, lower your gaze for them 5 years and come back when you're at. I don't know.
No, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't think that's like a write-off. There's so much wrong with dating apps and there's so much right with dating apps, because obviously in this day and age everything's digital. What these dating apps have done, okay, they've once again created this like sense of how everything just has to be like it's just like robotic movements. Like, so you're literally just like seeing a picture 0.5 seconds, like do you know what I mean? And you're sifting through like hundreds and hundreds of these pictures, and it's because like the amount of options you have on these apps and the amount of like, it's so easy to just like be talking to someone and then there's like one thing you don't like about them, okay, you're gone, bye, because the next one's right there, like in line, literally waiting for you. So it just creates this like sense of everyone's replaceable. There's no kind of like longevity to these relationships. There's like, I don't know, I just think
babe, you're right.
I just don't think they're very healthy.
Even if you don't find that someone that attractive, well, me personally, like in a real life situation, like I would still consider the person, want to get to know a little bit about them. I actually would, like, no, but the app is just different. Like, I just couldn't hack it because I was like, this is evil.
It desensitizes you to the person behind the screen.
Do you know we're literally objectifying?
We are
objectifying men too.
Yeah.
Oh,
not only men. If you're a guy and you're using the app,
vice
you're objectifying women, vice versa. But yeah, they're bit.
You see an image, it's literally yes or no. Oh,
I just think it's really techie, like these, like how society has progressed to like. This is the route of finding like your potential person, because it's the only way that it's the most easy way to do it these days, which is understandable because it's difficult, but like I just don't think it's super healthy.
Our parents didn't have them as much, their generation didn't have it, and they done well.
They did really well, some of them didn't do really well, but
okay, they didn't really do well. But like, you know when people say your family have connections and like all this jazz,
but I think that's because back in the day, community was a lot different to how community is now. Community now is just all like online, whereas back in the day it was real life relationships and friendships and connections, and like you knew people from 2 blocks down the road. Like you knew your whole like the street behind, the street in front, the street across the road. Like now, do you know your neighbours, babes?
Like but not enough, you know.
Like I'm pretty sure if we knew like our community, we could also do what our families did.
That's some sick point. Like it's fucked me now.
Obviously you adapt, and like some of these changes aren't necessarily all bad. Like we're not saying, oh my god, the world's just become, it kind of has actually, it's just become an absolute disaster, but you also have to like move with the times.
Oh
no, it makes me just really sad, guys. I just feel sad at the state of the ummah. Like I know people say this all the time, but genuinely when you deep what the Muslim community has become, it's a shambles. There's no other word to describe it. It's disastrous, and like I'm part of the problem 100%, but it's genuinely like I might start crying if I think about it anymore because I have no words. We're finished. We're actually finished.
Wait, actually, can I actually add to this?
I'm just deep in everything. We're finished.
This is like, it relates but doesn't relate directly. You know modernity, just very briefly, so very briefly, it's like, you know, you are a product of your environment. Like,
yeah, understandably.
So like obviously if someone smokes and you're around someone that smokes and you don't smoke yourself, your clothes will smell of smoke, blah 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 blah. You know, like if you're religious or if you care about sacredness or like meaning, like that stuff doesn't matter to the modern man. So like that, it's like, it's just reflected on us, all of us, like me, like definitely me, like everyone that I know, all our friends, all our families, and it's like it takes work to be like, no, I don't want to get brainwashed by this. It's like our values and our morals and everything is like, you can't help it because you are a product of your environment.
I don't think it's a conscious decision that any of us have made. It's like what you said, it's the environment you grow up in, it's going to mold you and shape you.
And to add to that, can I just add to it, like, you know, like obviously we're all going to be judged based on our generation. You know, like if you were to practice 10% of your faith
Yeah.
In the like generations ago, that would have been like, oh, you know, like as in like, well, what's going on? But if you practice just 1/10 of Islam now, it's amazing. Like, even like God recognizes it as,
not only God recognizes it, but it's amazing to just us as well. Like, oh my goodness, you do your 5 pillars. Wow, like you're just a gem. Like, I need to hold on to this person because that's so rare these days. And like,
but then I'm also just making that point. What can we do? Like, we're just happen to be born now, and
I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. It's no one's fault. Well, you all have to take accountability for your individual selves.
True.
But it's obviously just, it's just life, you know? There's not really much we can do about it.
And it's like, it links to that thing about community. Like, that's a modern problem. Like, no one cares about community.
Yeah.
And it also links to me, myself, and I, you know. But anyways,
this is just like, I feel like we can keep going down this hole and like there's a lot to like discuss around this topic. One piece of advice, okay, that we all need to really take on board, okay, is just worry about yourself and your internal states, and then hopefully we'll be able to make the world a better place. Because like, people just don't care about themselves enough. They're too focused on everyone else and what everyone else is doing wrong when you're doing so much wrong yourself. You know what I mean? This is common knowledge, but like I don't act upon it. Like I know this is what you should do, but I never do it enough. Once you've identified your internal issues and what is actually wrong with you, and you know you want to change this, you want to change that, you want to change that, then act upon it. Don't just identify it and acknowledge it and then just don't do anything about it, because that's even worse than not knowing and being ignorant and arrogant to like your issues. Do you know what I mean? Because if you know what they are and you're still not doing anything about it, that's just 10 times worse in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like this is like a generation of like self-awareness. Like everyone wants to become like self-aware, and everyone's trying to like,
but no one's really truly self-aware, you know that? I
don't know about you lot. I'm definitely not self-aware enough.
I can just talk like,
but it's like you're trying to become self-aware and stuff, but like once you're aware, what are you doing about it? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, it does. They're not becoming self-aware, but internally, like with what really matters. Like fundamentally.
I can't.
Do you know what I mean?
They're not delving deep enough.
Yeah, and I think also, actually, let me just add to that. I feel like a lot of people that I follow on social media and all of that, who do like talk about self-awareness and blah 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 blah, like perhaps they're not Muslims, they're just like normal like influencers and TikTokers. Or in my mind, like being self-aware is like, why am I here? Like, how am I actually connecting to my deen? Like, obviously the hereafter, but then, so I mean in that sense, but then obviously I forget that not everyone believes in God. Like, hardly no one believes in God. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
most of the time we don't link, and we don't. Well, I don't know about we, but I'm just saying we, as in a general sense, we don't link things back to the actual purpose and like.
Yeah, because when we say self-aware, like, oh, I'm not just saying, no, I need to get a job, I need to wake up, but. Like, so your job's not important, I'm sorry. Like,
no, I understand. As in, people just, we just prioritise the completely wrong things. And, like, we think those are the fixes and solutions. Like, oh, once we get, like, an amazing job that's going to give us, like, X salary. Or, like, once we've reached, like, a certain amount of followers on, like, Instagram to, like, grow our social media platforms. Or, like,
and to some people, that's being self-aware. That's, like, I'm grafting hard, you know.
Once I start waking up at 7 AM every day to, like, go to the gym and, like, bang out. Like, I'm not saying these things are bad,
wake up for Fajr. Make that... That's not even to do with self-awareness, but, like...
Okay, well, I know what, I kind of understand what you're saying.
You know how when you think of past generations, you think, oh my god, like, we're better because we have technology, we have medicine, blah, 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 blah. In that sense, we've made advances. But in terms of meaning and reflecting and religion, we're going backwards.
Oh, 100%.
Like, our priorities now, I'm talking about as a whole, like, as the modern person, it's literally about power, greed, like, literally... Do you know what I mean? Like, the more followers you have, the more influence you have, or like the more money you have, the more, and it's just gonna get worse and worse and worse. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
No,
like, there's no better future. Like, do you know what I mean? We're corrupting our.
We're essentially, we're technologically we're progressing, educationally we're progressing, but we're actually regressing when it comes to your actual self.
Yes.
Like. Oh, God, I can't.
You didn't know you phrased it.
10. Sorry. Guys, if you get us to a certain level of subscribers, we can buy ourselves new chairs that don't squeak for you.
Literally. Oh my god, you know what's mad? Like, I feel like we digressed from like what we wanted to talk about. No, this is a good
digression, you know.
It's good, no. When we're talking about mismatch, obviously, like, you know how there's that options list, and like you literally just pick like your requirements, innit? We were just talking about the stigma with the word divorce, and like I hope I would like not have a problem with marrying someone who is divorced. Like, I don't think I would.
In my like current position in life, if I had the choice, which I do, I would opt not to marry a divorcee.
See, that's what I want to understand.
Because I just personally think there's already enough, everyone has issues in life, there's already going to be problems within your marriage, even if you think it's the most perfect marriage ever. Why do I need an extra set of baggage, which is divorce, which is quite it's quite a big deal. It can be a big deal, it can't be a big deal depending on how you view it. I don't need that in the person that I'm going to try to get married to.
But okay, but wait, let me ask you my question. Forget negative connotations, forget the stigma. For you, it's that baggage, right?
Yeah, it's not necessarily like, oh my god, they've like been with someone else, or like, oh my god.
But wait, let me get my question out. But then, yeah, obviously in our day and age, like, I don't know, you're gonna be with someone, inshallah we won't, but let's say you get to know someone and they've had like 3 different past relationships and they weren't necessarily married, but they knew that person for a good 5, 6, 7 years, and then you see someone who is a divorcee, but they've only been married for like 1 month. Yeah, there's no kids involved, or even just say a year. All right, there's no kids involved. They wanted to do things the right way, in the halal way. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I completely.
But then, like, I feel like there's so much more baggage with. That was my first. Like, not that was my first love.
Yeah, I guess
like that's. Isn't that scary? Like,
I guess you have to judge it on like a case-to-case situation then, because yeah, if they were just married for like a month, that's not even, I don't think Islamically that's even classified as a marriage. If it only lasted, I'm pretty sure it has to be 3 months and over. I don't know. Don't quote me on this, guys.
Even a year.
But yeah, so like say it was like a 6-month marriage and like it you know, they wanted to just do things the halal way and then it didn't work out. In an instance like that, then I wouldn't be so opposed to it. But if it was like a hardcore marriage, do you know what I mean? Like, then that's a bit of a different situation. So I guess it's dependent on the circumstances.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Because yeah, you're right.
So when I say I'm over, I mean, yeah, like,
yeah, you could have a 5-year relationship with someone and not have got married, not have labelled it,
and then someone else
have,
who
like,
is divorced
marriage with some, yeah, okay,
and
yeah.
they literally done it for the intention of,
but then
I want to do things the right way.
Because I'm thinking of it from a also personal perspective. In order for me to get married to someone, bro, that's a big deal, regardless of whether our marriage lasts 6 months, 6 years, 17
but wait, can I add to that as well?
The fact that I got married to you and I actually like made those active steps, brought my whole family, and my whole family knows you, you're living in my house, I'm living in your house, and we got married. That's a big deal.
Babe, do you know why it's not a big
deal?
Because Islamically,
where like other people didn't know about it, you didn't live with them. Do you know what I mean? So it is.
No, but other people didn't know. No, you're stressing. No,
it's a big deal.
If you're in a 5-year relationship.
Yeah, but like,
if wait, if, like, do you believe that love comes after marriage or before marriage quickly?
No, I think it can before, can come after, it come whenever.
It comes, okay, so I'm talking about marriage in a viewpoint where, like, the traditional way, I don't even know what the traditional way is, but let's say, you know, the way where, like, maybe you met them like 4 or 5 times there, ideally, whatever, like, you're hoping for it to work out, you prayed your istikhara, you got that good feeling. What happened? What baggage?
I really think it would be beautiful if we could get rid of the stigma around divorcees, because it's not that deep. It's actually not that deep. And like you said, there's so many instances where they were married, you know, they made wrong decisions at a young age, and like, you can't let that. It's so deep that that's now going to affect their like rest of their future relationships now.
And not even, no, but also, babe, they didn't make a wrong decision. They got married, they got divorced, that's it. Like, the fact that we're saying they made a wrong, or like people say it was a wrong decision.
But like, we can't also,
that is what's making
it's not
it
the end of the world. Like, it's not haram. Divorce is allowed. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. Like, get over it. There's people who doing way worse out here. So like, I understand what you're saying, even though it sounds so hypocritical, because I'm like, I'd prefer it not to marry. That's just preference. I'm not saying I'm opposed to it. If I meet someone, he's an amazing human being and he's been divorced because he got married for 6 months, but he's an amazing person and like we get along, I'll be able to look past that, I hope.
Yeah, no, I'm like, you would.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all need to open our minds and become a bit less, what's the word? Narrow-minded.
I thought it was a thing of the past. Till I spoke to Aisha about it. She was like, potentially the baggage aspect. I was like, oh. Yeah,
no, I think it's definitely not as much of an issue as it used to be. But it's definitely present still. Oh. The stigma definitely exists.
Moving swiftly on from that, literally, we were discussing toxic traits.
Oh, guys, I feel like it's every day that we always discuss toxic traits because everyone's just toxic. You probably are toxic. You looking at me right now, definitely have a few toxic traits.
That's all that a personal attack for me.
It's like, personal attack to anyone. I genuinely don't think I'm toxic. Is that toxic? Maybe that's toxic. That I don't think I'm toxic.
No, but maybe you're not. I don't
sorry,
think
my nose is really itchy, guys. It's just sorry about that. No, I think I definitely have, you know, some bad qualities and bad characteristics. I'm not. I don't think I'm toxic in any of those. I just think.
So toxic's like unbearable.
No, toxic's
you wouldn't even go there.
Bro, toxic's just like.
What like what?
Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll discuss what toxic means to you.
Okay. Oh, you know, like when you think of toxic traits, did you ever feel like you've inhibited them before in your life?
I have to think of the toxic traits now. I'm sure, do you know what, probably I have like, to some degree. I don't know to what, but I'm sure I have. I've had it like my life, I've had quite a few years in my life. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure throughout that duration I've been to a certain degree toxic, but I don't think I possess toxic traits as like a person, like as, do you know what I mean? Like,
oh, as a thing, as an innate thing.
Yeah, as I can, yeah.
Okay, I hear you.
Like some girls are just some guys and some girls are just toxic because by default, like it's peak.
Yeah, no, not by default. Everyone's a product of their environment.
Guys, let me tell you, yeah. We all know this, but you are a product not only of your environment, of your environment, but also like genetics, of course. And I would say 99% of everybody's problems all stem from childhood, okay, because 100%. All stem from childhood and how you're brought up, which is I think we all know this by now. If you're not aware of those problems, and if you don't deal with those problems like at some stage in your life, you will carry those on into every single friendship, relationship, any ship you've ever, like they're gonna be there until you deal with them.
Family ship, is that a thing? Your kids,
yeah, you're everything, guys, and like it's gonna affect like so many aspects of your life that you just don't even know that it could have an impact on until you deal with those things. So like everyone just needs to deal with their childhood trauma. It's not your fault that you have it, unfortunately. You can blame your parents, you can blame whoever, but at the end of the day, you have to deal with it. It's your responsibility now.
Like even if you're a grown person, like you're like
and like deal with it for the sake of your children, because that's why I genuinely believe that's why a lot of this generation are so.
And do you know how you've dealt with it?
Because of your childhood trauma and like how you haven't dealt with it, and you probably don't even know you have childhood trauma.
But do you know what's a little bit sad? You know when you do actually deal with trauma, you know it feels like a thing of the past. Like, you know, the experience you went through doesn't seem as big.
Of course,
you know, once you've fully accepted it, and
so many like emotions, like they're gonna be so like dulled down because it happened so long ago, or they're gonna be blocked out.
And you know what trauma is? Trauma is reliving that incident. So like you can't move on because you think it's gonna happen. Okay, that makes sense as well. I think
let's just actually discuss what we personally view as toxic traits. We can also include red flags because I think they overlap slightly. But traits are more of personality characteristics, and red flags are just things like actions that person does, I would say.
I know this is a toxic trait because it used to be me not like many years ago, or not even that long ago, literally playing the victim and just thinking like my life was a mess and everything was going to shit, when really like I need to, like, alhamdulillah, I have so many blessings. I have a roof over my head.
Is that a toxic trait? Do you think that's toxic trait?
Playing the victim, like as in
playing the victim 24/7.
Babe, literally zap out of it. Do you know what I mean? For me, that is toxic because, what am I trying to say? I feel like you'd only have that trait if, for example, your relationship with God or your outlook on life wasn't necessarily like how it should be. For example, like in Islam, you know, you should be optimistic, right? As much as you can be.
We're human beings, naturally.
Obviously, no, you can be sad about things, but okay, no, wait, that wasn't even the point I was trying to make. I feel like every toxic trait stems to your religion.
That's dependent on how strong your iman is, and if you can.
But babe, if you have a strong iman,
if you have low iman, doesn't mean you're toxic.
No, it does, because babe, if you have high iman and you're the ideal Muslim, let's say you're the ideal Muslim, or let's say you're trying to be as religious as possible, let's say you're trying to be as practicing as possible. What's the main thing? Have nice mannerisms. What toxic trait are you gonna have? You're probably gonna have like bad characteristics, but toxic traits. Like I can't. Do you get my point?
I don't know what you're trying to say now.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm confused.
Why you can name another toxic trait?
I don't think toxic traits are linked to religion or linked to religiosity at all. How you have bad qualities and like how people have bad personality traits, you also can have toxic traits. Like,
you don't think it links to religion?
No.
I think you might change my mind during the discussion, but I need to know what you're gonna come with.
Obviously, as in like toxic traits are negative traits. Obviously, if you only have negative traits and no positive traits, you can't associate that with you obviously lacking in iman, you don't have good connection with God, because if you like.
No, but babes, you can have good traits, but then toxic traits.
But babes, I don't think that's a religious
It is, babe. What is toxic? Compulsive lying, for example. Do you know what I mean?
I understand, but you can obviously everything's linked back to religion, but you can also have a non-Muslim who's the most non-toxic, most amazing person in the world who has absolutely flawless qualities, but they're not Muslim. Do you know what I mean? Like, how does that link?
Very good reasonable point. Okay.
Yeah, like.
All right. Yeah.
When somehow you end up always apologising even though they're in the wrong, that is a very good, that's basically manipulation / gaslighting.
Emotional blackmail.
That's a bit of everything, innit?
Yeah.
But that happens very frequently, I think. Obviously, in a scenario where like, where you apologise to resolve the situation, even though you know you're in the wrong, but just to make it better, I think that's fine. To be the bigger person, like if it's not that deep and you just want to, you know, move on from something and you want to apologise even though you know they're just being stubborn and in the wrong. I don't think that's deep. But it's like when they've tricked you into thinking
you're in the wrong.
You're the one who's made this a problem, like you've created this issue and like it's your fault, when they deep down know, no, it was actually all me. And then you're believing you're falling for all their crap.
Like imagine some parents who use that, who have inhibit that toxic trait. It's like your child will grow up, or you as a person will grow up, yeah, or let's say you are in that kind of relationship, you're always going to be like, what's wrong with me, trying to fix you, being so self-critical, gonna have low self-esteem when you're not even the problem. Like, you know, you're not the problem, you know, you probably talked yourself up, you know, bigged yourself up and said, okay, I'm going to address this issue with this person. You go to address it and then it's like, oh, like they're just like to you, it's all in your head, like why are you creating a problem, and then you apologise. And then you're back to square one.
On you. Do you know what's the worst is like when like you go, okay, so when you've had like an argument with like a friend or partner or whatever, yeah, you're going at them, and then somehow halfway through the conversation, it's like it's done a 180, and now it's like it's all like you, and you're just and then you start thinking, oh,
like, how did we get here? Like
you're like, how did we get here? And like, oh my god, maybe I did do something wrong. And then you start self-doubting, and you're like,
and then that's now another problem. I figured it out. If you have any kind of toxic trait, you're a narcissistic, right? Like the world revolves around you. So name a toxic trait that doesn't.
Babes, you know you can have a toxic trait and be a great person, but you just have like a couple toxic traits. Like,
so then you've got some element of narcissism in you. So name a toxic trait that can make you a nice person.
Not a nice person, but I'm saying just because you have like one toxic trait doesn't mean you need to go to hell, babe. Like what the hell?
Who's talking about hell? No, I'm talking about hell. What, no?
But I'm saying, as in I'm being dramatic. I'm saying it doesn't make you like a shite human.
Yeah, no, babe, if you're a narcissist, like, does that make you a shit human? I don't think it makes you shit human, like.
No, it depends on to what degree you're like a narcissist too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, I'm just, okay, maybe I'm trying to make correlations that are not there, but in my head they're there, like. I just need to articulate better.
We're really sorry, guys, but oh my god, our camera died and we had to charge the battery. You know, we had a little beauty session with that.
Guys, I'm really shocked.
Basically, she's never been waxed in her life, guys. I don't understand how she's never waxed.
I've waxed here before and the pain was just too much.
So then basically I just waxed her leg like with just like one little
strip
and like her arm with like one little strip, and she's just in awe of like how. Anyway.
What? It just wasn't as painful before.
Hello? Guys, so sorry for all these disruptions and distractions, but we're going to get back into some of the toxic traits. I would say this next one's more so a red flag than a toxic trait. But it's a personality trait by the amount of guys that actually do this. When they're in every single girl on Instagram's likes.
Yeah.
It's so embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. Like, I feel embarrassed for you.
Yeah, but babe, you know what's
so many guys who I follow and wallah, like I'll go on every, like, do you know when you just go on like a pretty girl's account, or like you see like an influencer, or like, do you know on your home feed you just see, you know, and then you just get likes by likes.
Babe,
like,
you know,
whoa, like how do you find these people? How do you have the time to like every girl's Instagram pictures? It's just,
babe, I have a question now.
It's so icky.
Is it better if a guy follows Kim Kardashian or Kylie Jenner? I don't see, like I thought it wasn't. My friends tried to normalise it.
No, it kind of is. I get you. As in, no, if he follows any type of like half naked girls, I just don't understand. I'm just like,
no, but is that like, are we allowed? Is it problematic if a girl follows Cristiano Ronaldo?
No.
Tell me why.
Because he's not out here. He's not. What's he known for? He's a footballer. He's not known for other stuff. Or like, do you know what I mean?
Is that okay? So,
as in, what's he posting? He's only posting pictures. Well, I don't know. I don't follow him. But I'm
but I was just okay. Maybe they're following her for like entrepreneurial reasons.
I don't think.
See how much. Okay, no, but it's okay. So that's not double standards, is it?
No, it's not double standards. Because girls and guys are different. Like, we have different mindsets. We have different like
Okay.
Different everything. Obviously, when they're looking at something, it's completely different to how we're looking at something.
You're right. Okay, you're actually, yeah.
Let me tell you, babes, when you're looking at Cristiano Ronaldo, you're not
looking at
inciting the same emotions as a guy who's looking at Kim Kardashian.
Are you sure?
I'm
not even,
so.
okay.
I don't know. Maybe
I don't even
each to their own.
No.
The likes things, just get a grip, you lot. Especially if you're like of a certain age, just grow up.
Yeah, yeah.
Have some class. If they use Snapchat and they're over the age of 20, big facts. Guys, do you know how much of a red flag it is if they use Snapchat and they're like old?
I don't think that's problematic.
No, it's problematic because why? There's only one reason you're using Snapchat for. Let's be real. I stopped using Snapchat.
What's that? What do you mean? There's only see guys. I feel like I'm in a cave.
She's living in. I don't know where she's living.
Where do people? Where,
I'm making very general assumptions, guys. Don't take everything I'm saying to heart.
So, babe, what can you do on Snapchat?
You can be 20. Like I use Snapchat. The only time I will use Snapchat is to like send my friends like a memory or like send my friends like something jokes like. But I don't use Snapchat actively at all. As to like when I was younger, I used to use Snapchat all the time.
Yeah. Is it because now there's new social media sites?
No,
or
I
what's
just
going
think
down
Snapchat,
there?
like, why are you using Snapchat?
Because it's a social media app, babe.
Snapchat just gives me very creepy vibes. If you're like, if that's your like most used platform and you're of a certain age, I would actually, yeah, I would just
imagine
be like,
that's okay.
Like
Imagine
if a guy
that's
came,
what you've had.
like, do you know if a guy came up to you and like
Is that
wants to get to know you and he's like, yo, what's your Snap?
I thought that was normal, but I don't have Snapchat.
It's normal if you're like 15 years old, yeah. But like, no, like.
Is that the same as what's
your Insta?
It's a red flag.
No, it's not the same as what's your Insta.
See, do you know what I would find cringe? If a guy was like, what's your TikTok? Do people say that?
No one says that. not yet, anyway.
No one says that. Okay, cool.
Honestly, I'm really hungry with just waffling so much at the moment.
Guys, I really enjoyed this podcast. I mean, this not
episode.
podcast, episode. It was
sorry that
really
like the
nice.
transition has like changed completely. Obviously the camera
died.
The light
phone
calls,
conversations, waxing, you know, the whole
There's a lot going on in this episode.
Guys, as usual, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, please.
Like, comment, subscribe. If there's any other topics or like, I don't know, if there's anything you want us to discuss in the next like
guys,
episode, let us know in the comments below.
I love talking. I can talk about anything.
And yeah, see you in the next video.
Ciao.